Welcome to the RebelRed channel, guys. The channel which shares the most relevant tips and tricks on how to win at Risk and improve your rank in no time. Subscribe to the channel and you won't even see how fast you will become so much better at Risk. Push that notification bell to see new videos first. This is your host champion ever. And today we are playing 3-player fixed card game with Blizzards. Settings: Alliance is on. Balance blitz dice rolls in 60 seconds per turn. This game is being played with my subscribers who are both masters. This time the Blizzards made Europe with 3 borders to guard instead of 4, and Africa with 2 borders instead of 2 if the African player uses the Middle East as the border, and finally Asia has 3 borders instead of 4 if not counting Australia, and if the Asian player wants to prevent someone from holding Europe, then of course he could use the territory of Ukraine as his border. The green player was the only player who sent me the alliance request, so this time I don't really have to pick in which alliance I should truly stick being. As with the green player being my only ally, I will encourage him to team up on the yellow player. I immediately sent green the attack request to attack yellow after I accepted his alliance request, and hopefully we will be able to have a mutually beneficial alliance in which we would be weakening the yellow player in the way in which it would be equally worth for us, at least trying our best. And with the yellow player being the Australian player, that might not be as hard if we successfully manage to trap him with me getting and holding both of the Americas, and the green player Africa plus Europe. And so far our alliance is working great. I moved my troops from Africa and let green player capture it, so now we both finally have a small continent each, and the next plan is for me to expand to North America while letting the green player capture Europe. So this is why I've just said to the green player that I'm sorry but I need to attack your territory, and then saying him to attack my territory if he needs to as well. Or I mean I could have let green capture North America while capturing Europe for myself, but I mean I've just got used to expand to North America having South America, and plus additionally the yellow player is building a big army next to Europe, so it is another reason for me to have North America over Europe, as it might be quite more safe for me than green from getting invaded to a big continent by yellow. However, judging by the yellow player's reactions, I think the yellow player clearly understands where everything is going to, of him potentially getting trapped by me and green. So that's possible that he could prevent us from pulling the strategy off, especially with trading in a set before me, and with the green player not guarding his borders, meaning that even if I could successfully guard the Alaskan border after capturing North America, I could still get invaded through green. And that's awesome. The yellow player just captured Asia without really doing anything else. He sent me the alliance request, but since I was in the alliance from the beginning of the game with green, I'm gonna stick being in the alliance with the green player, with our alliance working very great so far of us helping each other to get continents. I wouldn't like to randomly switch the alliance, or to become a turtling player isn't something I would like either. I wouldn't like for the game to stalemate. So hopefully he will help me out weakening the yellow player. It's alright if he adds some more troops on my border in case he doesn't trust me as much or just want to feel quite more safe from possibly getting invaded by me. But yeah, it seems I'm getting betrayed by him. Unfortunately for me, he didn't appreciate our alliance as much as I did. Which of course is fine because every player stands for himself, making the moves which he thinks would be the best either for himself or the game, while the alliances are just temporary thing which should never be taken too seriously. However, by getting betrayed by green, now I will try to team up with the yellow player if possible. I declined his old alliance request, sending him a new one, so I would see whether he still would like to be in the alliance, and fortunately for me he accepted it. But not only that, but also he actually ended up attacking green as well, as some players could just accept your alliance request just for the sake of accepting, while just being neutral or still targeting you. But yeah, I've just realized that my decision to ally with the yellow player might have been too spontaneous. There's no good mutually beneficial way for us to team up. He could just end up taking the advantage over me, and that's it if I take the alliance with him too seriously. So what I did is still invaded green into Europe, not because wanting to retaliate, but because I would unleash his biggest army to invade the yellow player by capturing the territory of Ukraine. Also, I kept my army on the territory of Alaska, so I would be able to invade yellow by myself also after trading in a set, in case the green player would fail to do it by himself with the yellow player possibly guarding very strongly against him. However, the yellow player might have realized my sneaky plans, and this is maybe why he captured some territories of mine also and then put some more troops on the Kamchatkan border. But I'm not sure. That's possible that he might have thought that by unleashing my biggest army I would invade the green player again, since I invaded him into Europe last turn. I don't know. But after me recapturing North America and putting my army on the Kamchatkan border back, I think he realized for sure that I want him to get invaded into Asia. Fortunately, the yellow player used his troops to capturing a bunch of territories instead of strengthening his border against green, so the green player successfully invaded him. But unfortunately I didn't have a set at 4 cards, so now sitting with even 5 of them, I might still be in a danger. But alright, the yellow player after all only got a 4 troop set. And he put his troops in the smaller armies, so I think he is not taking me out. And I mean, I'm not sure how of a good or of a bad idea it would have been for him to take me out, in case he had gotten a 10 troop set instead. Anyways, now after the green player saving the game from the yellow player dominating the game, I think I could try to team up with him against the yellow player again. I mean, after the green player betrayed me, I was originally planned to try teaming up with yellow on him, but since the green player has saved the game, it wouldn't feel so right to immediately betray him, right? Well, every player stands for himself and the alliances are just temporary thing which could be broken at any time. So it didn't really that much matter. I could have tried teaming up with any of them. Instead of preventing the yellow player from holding Asia, I could have put my armies into the territories of Greenland/Iceland and Brazil/North Africa to prevent the green player from holding continents, while letting the yellow player hold Asia, and with both of us weakening green. But with the green player being weaker than the yellow player, I assumed it would have been safer for me to team up with the green player. And also because of the location, Africa with Europe has 4 borders to guard, while Australia with Asia only 3, so for the yellow player it would have been easier to betray me at the crucial time and properly guard all of the borders against both of the opponents. Anyways, with the green player not guarding his borders against yellow, and with the yellow player invading him when failing to get to me, I might be able to take the advantage of that and become the dominating player by myself alone. Well, it's too soon to say, but it is leading this way, so unless the yellow player moves out from Australia leaving his army in my continents, or of course the green player starts to properly guard both of his borders what he did now, so in this case we should be able to team up on the yellow player together beneficially. But yeah, the green player didn't successfully set his troops up in the way that the yellow player wouldn't be able or wouldn't afford to break through his continents, so the yellow player invaded him and even got to South America, but this time the yellow player moved out from Australia, getting out of the trap. Or maybe the green player was afraid of the yellow player being not wise and possibly crushing way too many of his troops, so in this case he might have saved himself from losing the game. I mean, who knows? It's really unknown how many troops the yellow player would have been willing to destroy in order to break through green. Anyways, it seems that the green player is moving to Australia, so is it possible that he will become the new trap player? I mean, I'm not so sure how a great decision it was. I think it could really depend on what the yellow player is planning to do. And judging by the fact that he captured both of the Americas leaving the army on Alaska, I assume he would like to team up with me against green. And I assume these heart emojis just confirm that. And I mean, could I refuse to that? I think not. He seems to be a very friendly dragon in general, and with us finally being able to have a mutually beneficial alliance, I think it's worth a shot giving it a try after being very unsuccessful with the green player when it comes to trapping the Australian player. So I'm really wondering how will it go with the yellow player. And also I'm wondering to see how the green player will try getting out of this situation as well. It seemed he firstly wanted to crush the troops he got into me, but fortunately to me at the end he didn't. Then he fortified his biggest army next to yellow, which I consider it to be a great decision in case he is planning to weaken one of us in order to force the weakened player to betray another one, because the yellow player is the one who has a turn after him, meaning that if the yellow player gets weakened, then he would be able to save the balance of the game by invading me into my continents, while if I get weakened to the point in which I should be forced to betray yellow, then I might not necessarily be able to successfully achieve it by the yellow player immediately invading me into my continents, and guaranteeing having the unstoppable advantage for himself, ending up having more troops than me and green combined. Or maybe even with him possibly even being able to immediately take both of us out with receiving the bonus. Anyways, I think I missed the opportunity to end up being able to put all of my troops to one big army like the yellow player too. When the green player had his army on Mongolia, I could have wiped him out from Australia and then combined both of my armies into one in the territory of China. It would have been so much better for me to have my troops into one big army instead of two, so I'm just not sure how the yellow player would have felt of me additionally holding Australia next to Africa with Europe. Anyways, the green player has manual rolled me a bit, which I don't really mind it at all because I'm still as strong as the yellow player, so I assume it would have been kinda the same if I had manual rolled the green player by myself instead, so in this case I can just sit and relax while the green player does all the dirty work of weakening himself by himself. But with the green player manual rolling me, I wish that the yellow player would start manual rolling the green player as well, as otherwise I might have to betray him if I see that he is getting quite stronger. Unfortunately, the green player has just given away the game for the yellow player by crushing half of his troops into me. So that's a GG. And that's fine because we all make mistakes, nobody is perfect, and the game was very fun regardless. But to explain the mistake, what he did wrong is first of all he went for the wrong player, since with the yellow player's turn being after his one, the yellow player is immediately receiving his troop bonus without me being able to invade him to save the balance of the game. Like comparing if the green player had weakened the yellow player, then the yellow player would have been able to ruin my continental bonus by invading me into both of my continents. And then another reason why was it so bad for the green player to crush so many troops into me is because he made himself to be worth taking out for his cards. So when you consider weakening another player that much, then consider it doing when you don't have a lot of cards.